This is the Tyrant Beastie all built up and in the flesh, and I have to say that it builds up quite nicely. It's definitely a very modern fixed gear build with its pretty big aluminum tubing and full carbon fork. Although I'm not a fan of carbon forks, can't lie, is really beautiful with its aero profile. Really thin blades. The Beastie currently comes in two colors. Here is the, what the heck do they call it? Nickel polish matte ice. Matte polish nickel, whatever. The silver, matte silver. And it also comes in a matte black finish. Both of them come with silver decals. I'm really digging the look of the matte silver paint with these silver decals. It's a low contrast vibe, and it makes the decals appear very just understated and minimal, but still classy. And it's just a very clean looking bike that's not desperate for your attention with logos on every single tube possible. But where they did put branding, I find that it's a very nice and unique touch, like on the front of the fork, on the bottom of the down tube. It's definitely a different vibe from a lot of other aluminum bikes on the market that are very heavy on trying to grab people's attention. Another thing I like about the Beastie is that it has round aluminum tubing. For some reason, a lot of aluminum fixtures on the market go for an aero style, which I'm not particularly fond of. I more so just like the classic round tubing look, which this does excellently, but it also has a little bit of flair in the rear triangle where it has more flatter profile tubing to give it a bit of a modern and unique feel, to make it feel like you're getting something special. And speaking of that rear triangle, the hourglass seat stays, they are really tasty. And the chain stays are bent and dimpled in a way where you get 32 millimeters of tire clearance in the rear. That's really nice to see, especially since aluminum bikes tend to have narrower tire clearances. And also, look at this crank arm clearance. That's right, you can ride tram omniums on this thing and you don't have to shave down your omniums. That is a thing that a lot of people care about, apparently. Just the idea around the Tyrant Beastie, in that they intentionally gave the Beastie thicker walled tubing to make it more comfortable and make it more street-worthy. You have to give the Beastie props for that it is trying something different. Because a lot of aluminum bikes on the market, they are usually trying to be as light as possible for the money, going for thinner walled tubing, and that leads to a lot of aluminum fixed gears, especially riding very chattery on the street where it feels like the bike could crumple underneath you at any moment. At least that's how I feel for a lot of aluminum bikes. So it'll be interesting to see how the Tyrant Beastie rides out on the street. As much as I'm liking the Beastie so far, there are some imperfections. The aforementioned rusty blanks for the top tube cable routing. The paint doesn't seem like it's the highest quality. You can see some dust in the paint. You can see some parts where it looks like somebody touched it while it was wet. And there's even this pretty sizable nick in the head tube. It's something that's concerning on a bike that costs $500 on sale. They say it's on sale, but I've only ever seen it at $500. I've never seen it at the full price of $700. If I was paying $700, that's absolutely unacceptable. If I was paying $500, that is a bit of a disappointment. Tyrant says they have really good customer service. Again, I don't care to go through that whole back and forth process because I'm just trying to ride the bike and tell you my thoughts on it. Something else I'm not a huge fan of is that, look, if you're gonna give me rear cable routing, this is not a clean fixed gear anymore. This is admittedly a single speed bike primarily. If you're gonna do that, that's fine. That's fine. You can make it a single speed bike. But if you're gonna do that and make it more useful, can I at least have bottle bosses? The Beastie definitely looks sick without any bottles on it. But how sick are we going if we're doing the rear cable routing? Something I found a little bit quirky. I haven't noticed this with any other aluminum bike, although it's been a minute since I've ridden another aluminum bike, is that the rear dropouts, they are quite slippery. Those stainless steel inserts, I did have a little bit of a tough time tensioning my chain because the wheel kept slipping in the dropouts. I certainly hope that it has enough bite to it that it's not slipping if I'm trying to pull a skid or ride up a steep hill, but I was eventually able to just tighten it down a lot and then slowly add tension to the chain. Something that's pretty nice about it is, even though it is an aluminum fixed gear, it can handle slightly bigger tires. 28C in the front, I wouldn't go bigger than that, and 32 in the rear. Maybe you could push it to a 35, maybe. Personally, I don't like riding anything less than 28C for the street. I was riding 23C tires, and I was like, why was this the standard? This sucks. You feel every single crack and bump in the road, and even like a big crack, you can't even classify it as a pothole, feels like a big jolt when you're riding your bike. In my eyes, bigger is just generally better. If you can fit 32, even better, but 28, good to go. Another nice thing is that it comes with an FSA headset stock in the box so that you don't have to budget something else, because this is a huge bummer when you buy a frame set and then it's like, oh, I need a headset now. I can't ride this bike until I get a headset and spend another 70 to 100 bucks. And the FSA headset, you know, that's like a $70, $80 value that they include right in the box, and it saves you a lot of time. It's an awesome headset. And also a C-clamp. I don't like the C-clamp because of that weird 2-bolt design, which I've never seen. I am not having problems with my C-post slipping when I'm riding a fixed gear on the street or even off-road. I don't need that extra bolt. And on top of that, I don't even think it looks that cool. It's unique. But at the end of the day, it is nice that they include it in the box. To Tyrant's credit, the C-clamp is not integrated. I hate integrated C-clamps because if you strip a bolt or crack the frame accidentally, as aluminum can sometimes do, that frame set is done just because of that one part. So it's nice that it can be replaced. And if this was my bike, I might even replace that C-clamp because I really don't like the 2-bolt design. Tyrant says that the Beastie is tailor-made to withstand anything you can throw at it. And I will be throwing a lot at it. Rain, shine, dirt, mud, gravel, potholes, tentatively because of the carbon fork. And they also say that it's paired with a full carbon fork. This beast is bomb-proof. I wouldn't exactly say carbon and bomb-proof in the same sentence unless it's connected by the word not. The whole point of the Beastie is that it's a street-worthy aluminum bike that you don't have to baby. I have my reservations because of the carbon fork. It feels like it's made out of PVC pipe when you're just swinging it around. But maybe, and I hope that the Beastie will inspire confidence within me that I can trust carbon and I can trust an aluminum bike can ride comfortably and not chattery and be a beast of a bike. Speaking of a beast of a bike, this video is sponsored by Wabi Cycles. No joke, Wabi Cycles has changed my life, and I'm not just talking about the fact that they give me money to say the things that I would say anyway about them, but rather their bikes are actually so good that it's another thing to look forward to when I get on my bike every day. They help reduce the friction that we have and the excuses that we tell ourselves that we shouldn't ride our bikes or that we don't want to ride our bikes, because they are just so dang fun to ride. And part of what makes it so life-changing for me and makes it so fun to ride is that these bikes are meticulously hand-built out of top-tier Reynolds 725 or Columbus Spirit steel. It has a ride quality that just encourages you to want to get on the bike and encourages you to keep pedaling the bike once you are on it. My Wabi is one of my most treasured possessions because it tangibly improves my life. And if you're looking to get one for yourself, be sure to check out Wabi Cycles linked in the description. And Fixie famous shoutouts to David K, Julian Corona, Brandon Black, Brent David, Perez, and Ted Onchi for helping to make these fixed gear videos possible through the support on Patreon. And remember, a life is short, but don't make it shorter, so be sure to ride your bike every day to be reasonably dangerous.